Hello everyone and welcome to English class. Today we are going to start a new chapter from the book An Alien Hand. First unit. The title of the chapter is The Tiny Teacher. So this chapter is basically talks about the tiniest teacher that you would ever think of. As we read the lesson, we will discover who is this tiny teacher. So, are you ready, students? If you are ready, we can begin. Let me ask some questions. Have you ever seen the smallest and the wisest insect? So again, is it a fly? Is it the mosquito? Is it the worm? Perhaps you might have got the answer, right? Is it a fly? No, it is not a fly. Is it the mosquito? No, it is not the mosquito. The last question we have, is it the worm? No, again, it is not the worm. Then what is that tiniest and wisest insect? Is there anything in your mind, students? All right, let me tell you. The smallest and the wisest insect about which we will learn in this lesson is the ant. Yes, it is the ant. If you haven't observed about this tiny creature, then you must be wondering, right? You must be thinking, how can ant be the wisest insect? Hold on. As we go further, your doubts and queries will be clarified. So let us discuss about the facts that ants have, that this chapter provides us. So there are numerous facts that this chapter states about the ants. Perhaps you have never imagined about such facts. So we will go through all those facts one by one. So the first fact is, an ant uses its feelers or antenna to talk to other ants by passing messages through them. So the ants have feelers, or we also call as antenna. By the help of these feelers or antenna, they communicate or talk and pass messages to one another. The second fact is, each ant greets all the other coming from opposite direction by touching their feelers. So if you watch a row of ants moving up or down the wall, you can see each ant greets all the other ants which are coming from the other direction by touching with their feelers. That is how they greet one another. The third fact about the ant is there are many kinds of ants. Now, the commonest among them are the black or red ones. The next fact, where do the ants live? In their comfortable homes called nests or ant hills. So the houses of ants is called ant hills. Remember it, all right? So the next fact about the ant is each has 100 of little rooms and passages. In some of these rooms, the queen ant lays eggs. So we will later on discuss about queen ant. Who is she? What does she do? And when she lays egg? And so on. So now you need to know that she lays eggs in one of the rooms. The next fact about the ant is others are nurseries for the young ones called grubs. Grubs is an immature stage in the life cycle of an insect. This is also called a larva. So in the ant hills, there are special rooms for the young ones, or to say baby ant. Next fact about the ant is workers have separate quarters. They spend most of their time searching for food. So workers are supposed to go out and search for the food. That is their job. Now the next fact that we are about to see about the ant is some rooms serve as storehouses for these food. So the workers collect the food and they store them into some of the rooms. Soldiers have separate barracks. Soldiers have their own areas from where they keep guard of all the ants from enemies. The next fact is no worker has ever tried to live in a soldier's house. No soldier has ever gone out searching for food. This fact basically explains that the duties are divided among the ants for the smooth functioning of the community. And so soldiers have to do their own work of guarding and protecting the community, and workers have their own works like gathering food cleaning, looking after the young ones, etc. So, they never exchange their job. They never interfere in each other work. You see, an ant's life is very peaceful. Each does its share of work intelligently and bravely, and never fight with other members of the group. That's how people describe the one who searches all these facts about ants. They say that ants' life is very peaceful. Okay, each does its share of work intelligently and bravely, and never fights with other members of the group. Now, when you talk about humans, we also sometimes get into a fight with the co-workers or with our friends. But when we talk about ants, they never fight with each other, and they do their work happily and bravely, like their own work. They do not interfere in somebody's work. Okay, these were some of the facts about the ants, like ants as a whole. Where do they live? How do they lay eggs? And about the queen ant. All right, we shall move forward. Now let us know something about the queen ant. It is the mother of the whole population. So the queen ant is the mother of all ants, or the whole population of an ant hill. It lives for about 15 years, that is her age. It has a pair of wings but bites them off after its wedding flight. This fact tells us that when the queen ant is with eggs, she bites off her wings. This flight takes place on a hot summer day when the queen leaves the nest and goes out to meet a male ant. So when the time comes for the queen ant, she leaves the nest and goes in search of a male ant, and this takes place in a hot summer day. On its return to earth, it gets rid of its wings and then does nothing but lays eggs. All right. After meeting with the male ant, as she returns home, she removes her wings and then lays eggs in one of the rooms in the ant hill. Eggs are hatched. The grubs come out. This is very important to understand that what happens and in which order. All right. So it is very important to understand the cycle, what really happens. So first of all, grubs are the young ones. So soldiers guard them and workers feed and clean them and also carry them daily for airing, exercise, and sunshine. These are the duties of soldiers and workers. You have to keep in mind that soldiers always guard and protect them, whereas workers feed them, take them out for airing, exercise, and sunshine. That is their job. So that cycle of ant life, let us know clearly. So the grubs become cocoons and lie without food or any activity for 3 weeks. So once the queen ant gives eggs, from the eggs the grubs come, and then from grubs the grubs becomes cocoons, and these cocoons they lie without food or any activity for almost 3 to 4 weeks. So the grubs turn into cocoons. This is the time where the cocoons just remained without food and activity for almost 3 to 4 weeks. After this period, cocoons break and perfect ants appear. So now is the time for training and teaching. New ants learn their duties from old ants as workers, soldiers, cleaners, etc. When the perfect ants appear, they are given a kind of training. So they learn their work from the old ants. Here, ants are divided into different groups as per their job, and training is given how to do it. After training, the small ants are ready to go out into the big world of work. So once the training period is over, they start working accordingly. An ant hill is a home not only for ants but also for some other creatures such as beetles, lesser breeds of ants, green fly, etc. So you must be wondering, right, that why the ants allow other creatures to live in their homes. So there are some reasons behind this, that is why the ants allow other creatures to live in their homes. Let us see what are these reasons behind. Some insects give off smell pleasant to ants' senses. So there are some insects which give out or spread a kind of pleasant smell for the ants, and the ants like this kind of smell. Some give sweet juices. Okay, so there are some insects or creatures who give sweet juices for the ants. Some are just pets. Just like human beings, we keep pets such as dogs or cats. Similarly, the ants keep some creatures or the insects as pets. Alright? Green fly. Green fly is the most important insect that lives in the ant hill. Why this insect is the most important? Do you know? As we get milk from the cow, the ants get milk from the green fly. So, green fly is the ant's cow. The ants train it to give honeydew with a touch of their antenna. So, honeydew is a type of milk. So, these were the creatures and why they live in the ant hills. Okay. Therefore, we human beings have a lot to learn from tiny teachers, such as hard work, sense of duty and discipline, cleanliness and care for young ones, above all, firm loyalty to the land where they live. These are the things that we can learn from these tiny creatures. That's why the ants are called tiny teachers. That's what we can learn from these tiny teachers. So, I hope that the text is very clear to you guys and you enjoyed the lesson. So, here we end our class on the topic the tiny teacher. Thank you for watching this video. Be focused in your studies and keep learning.